Welcome to Eagle News. Hello, I'm Bree.
And I'm Ari.
We are so glad you could join us today. In today's episode, we will report about Eversole Run Middle School news, national news, Ohio news, teacher focus, science news, riddles, technology news, and much, much more. In Eversole news, here are some upcoming dates here at Eversole. October 31st, Halloween costume dress-up day. Full masks, painted faces, look-alike weapons will not be permitted. November 8th, no school. November 10th, 7th and 8th grade orchestra concert at 7 p.m. November 8th is the end of the first trimester. November 14th, 8th grade band concert at 7 p.m. November 23rd through the 25th, no school because of Thanksgiving break.
In world news, ever wonder how big a pumpkin can grow? In 2019, a German farmer grew the heaviest pumpkin in the world. It weighed 2,624.6 pounds. That's 1,190 kilograms. This is heavier than some small cars. There are many types of pumpkins. Some are small. We carve them into jack-o'-lanterns, but the really big ones are the Atlantic giant pumpkins.
On this day in history, October 20th, 1998, nearly 4 decades after he became the first American to orbit the Earth, Senator John Glenn is launched into space again as a payload specialist aboard the Space Shuttle Discovery. At 77 years of age, Glenn was the oldest human ever to travel in space. Fun facts of the day. An elephant's heart weighs around 30 pounds, and a human heart a mere 10 ounces. Also, elephants
In Language Arts news, what is a folk tale? Folktales are stories in the oral tradition or tales that people tell each other out loud, rather than stories in written form. They're closely related to many storytelling traditions, including fables, myths, and fairy tales. Every human society has its own folktales. These well-known stories handed down between generations are an important way of passing along knowledge, information, and history. Here are some famous folktales: The Pied Piper, Jack and the Beanstalk, The Seven Ravens, The Frog King, and Goldilocks, and the Three Bears.
In Eagle Sports News, our Eversole Run fall sports season is in the books, and it was a tremendous success. Over 260 eligible students participated. We are proud of all of our fall sports teams. They worked hard since August to represent their school well this fall on the field, court, course, and sidelines. Our fall sports season was highlighted by the play of our football program. 90-plus boys worked hard during the summer months to prepare for their season. The 7th grade finished 5-2, while the 8th grade team capped a 6-1 season with a victory over Grizel and the Dublin City Schools 8th grade football championships on the turf at Jerome High School. Fantastic season, boys, and we are looking forward to continuing the winning tradition of Eversole Eagle football. Each football evening, our sideline cheerleading squad brought energy, spirit, fun, and support to the Eversole community. They worked hard preparing for the sideline and competition cheerleading season this fall. We look forward to a great competition cheer season late this fall. Another huge highlight of our fall season were the accomplishments of our golf programs. Our boys team finished 15-3-1 and won the championship at the Central Ohio Middle School Golf Tournament. Our girls golf program went undefeated this fall and finished a memorable season with a championship at the Central Ohio Middle School Golf Tournament. Girls tennis burned up the courts this fall. They finished with an 11-3 record, and they repeated as the Dublin Classic champions. Our cross-country team continued its success this fall. The boys team won 3 duels, while the girls team notched 6 victories. The girls team scored high finishes in invitationals as they took 2nd in the Dublin Classic and 3rd in the Celtic Clash and the Big Walnut Invitational. Great season to all of our cross-country athletes. Lastly, our volleyball had a great season. They improved a ton over the course of the year, with the 7th grade team earning 4 victories, while the 8th grade had 5. We look forward to a bright Eagle volleyball future. Aside from on-field success, our student athletics continue to shine in the classroom and in the hallways at Eversole. We are proud of all of those who donned the green and gold to represent our school with grit, class, and sportsmanship. Looking ahead to the winter, there has been a lot of interest from our students' body. Our winter sports program is open to rising 7th and 8th grade students. We offer boys basketball, girls basketball, and wrestling. Go Eagles!
Hi, I'm Ari.
And I'm Bree.
And
this is this weekend's weather.
On Friday, we have a high of 64, a low of 39, and a 0% chance of rain. On Saturday, we have a high of 64, a low of 45, and a 0% chance of rain.
And on Sunday, we have a high of 63, a low of 53, and a 50% chance of rain. And that was this weekend's weather.
In science news, what are the 2 types of energy? Although there are several types of energy, scientists can group them all into 2 main categories: kinetic energy and potential energy. Kinetic energy is energy of motion. Atoms and their components are in motion, so all matter possesses kinetic energy. On a larger scale, any object in motion has kinetic energy. Potential energy is energy that is matter gains from its arrangement or position. The object has the potential to do work. Examples of potential energy include a sled at the top of a hill or a pendulum at the top of its swing.
In math news, what are negative exponents? Negative exponents tell us that the power of a number is negative and it applies to the reciprocal of the number. We know that an exponent refers to the number of times a number is multiplied by itself. For example, 32 equals 3 times 3. In the case of positive exponents, we easily multiply the number, the base, by itself. But what happens when we have negative numbers as exponents? A negative exponent is defined as the multiplicative inverse of the base, raised to the power which is opposite to the given power. In simple words, we write the reciprocal of the number and then solve it like positive exponents.
In social studies news, what was the Magna Carta? The Magna Carta, Latin for Greek Charter, was a document that gave certain rights to the English people. King John of England agreed to it on June 15th in 1215. The Magna Carta stated that the king must follow the law. He could not simply run as he wished. It was one of the first documents to state that citizens had such rights. England's nobles, called barons, church leaders, and the common people disliked King John. He demanded too much money from his people. The barons drew up to the Magna Carta to limit his power. The Magna Carta was the first step in the creation of England's constitution. Many other countries later used the ideas of the Magna Carta in their constitutions too.
In social and emotional news, empathy is the ability to emotionally understand what other people feel, see things from their point of view, and imagine yourself in their place. Essentially, it is putting yourself in someone else's position and feeling what they must be feeling. When you see another person suffering, you might be able to instantly envision yourself in the other person's place and feel sympathy for what they are going through. While people are genuinely pretty well attuned to their own feelings and emotions, getting into someone else's head can be a bit more difficult. The ability to feel empathy allows people to walk a mile in another's shoes, so to speak. It permits people to understand the emotions that others are feeling. Empathy is very important in human social and emotional development. This is this week's Eagle Recognition Award winners. First, we have Jude Russer for ownership from Miss Savage.
Next, we have Valentina Davila for ownership from Ms. Phelps.
Next, we have Thea Neary for service-minded, and this is from Mrs. Durger.
Next, we have Peyton Walters for being service-minded from Mr. Armstrong.
Next, we have Rachel Priestland for service-minded, acceptance, ownership, respect from Mrs. Grieco.
Next, we have Finn Tracy for ownership from Ms. Stishog. Well, that's the Eagle News for today. If you have a story you would like to have featured on Eagle News, please let Mr. McNeil know. Here at Eversole, we are creating a community of excellence by being positive, working hard, and respecting the uniquenesses of ourselves and each other. Have an amazing day.